Hi, this is Mela from Mela Reads, and today I wanted to do the first one of what I'm hoping to be a series of short, sharp reviews of books I've read recently. I am going back a couple of months, so the first couple might be testing my memory, but I'm hoping to do them like on the go after this, sort of just quick little summaries. So let's jump into it. The first review today is The Old Man and the Sea by Ernest Hemingway. This was published in 1951. It was the last novel published by Hemingway prior to his death about a decade later. So the summary: we've got an old man, an old fisherman named Santiago, and the sea is the setting of a lot of this novella. It's very short, 100 odd pages. It's set in the Gulf Stream off the coast of Cuba, which is where Hemingway spent a lot of time around that period. And basically, it's the story of this man, Santiago, who's had a really unlucky streak of 84 days at sea without catching any fish. And he's basically considered bad luck. And the young boy that used to go fishing with him has been told by his parents he's not allowed to go fishing with him anymore. And there is a beautiful relationship between the boy and the old man, told a little bit in situ and a little bit in flashbacks of how the boy still looks after the old man through this really tough time where he's not getting any fish, so he's got no money coming in and nothing to fall back on. So that's like the quick setup of the story. Is the old man going out on the 85th day. He's determined that his luck is changing and he's ready for it. He's ready for the biggest catch of his life. And you know what? He hooks this massive marlin. And then the last part of the story is him trying to catch it and bring it home so that it actually leads to victory, if not necessarily profit. So, themes. I would say one of the main themes in this is what it means to be a man, what it means to be a human, but also what it means to be a man. That sense of achievement and pride in your work and diligence and resilience and working for a purpose, even if the odds are stacked against you, even if you won't necessarily profit or have glory or any of those things, but those qualities that I guess that are inherently good character traits for a man to have. And also this man is aging, right? I don't know how old he is, but he's an old man by the context, and maybe his fishing days are mostly behind him, is the impression I get. And it's also that sort of like going down fighting rather than succumbing to the frailty of old age. There's also a really beautiful theme of friendship and mentorship in there between him and the young boy. And I would say, so some of those traits that I spoke about, like being a man, are universal human traits that are valuable, but in this context, it's a man. You can tell from the title. There's also some themes in this that are like Christian allegory. You've got this whole like 3-day period where he sort of goes out and he serves his time before he comes back. There's also some imagery of like him carrying his mast over his shoulders and things like that. But I'm not super strong on Christianity and the Bible, so I'm not going to dip into that any more than that. But those themes are definitely there if you're interested in them. Some points of interest I've got here. So yes, as I mentioned, this was the last published fiction in Hemingway's lifetime. Hemingway won the Pulitzer Prize for this novel, and it was mentioned in his Nobel Prize for Literature award as, you know, one of the contributions to him gaining that award. And I think for some people, it prompted sort of a review of his body of works over the preceding decades. But yeah, as I mentioned, he had a really rough decade after this, both in terms of his physical and mental health. He was on a very painful but slow decline, which is a shame. So some other things that are interesting about this is the mood. The mood is quite heavy and somber, almost in the same way that I enjoy in Gothic fiction, where it's sort of like a lot of the story is waiting rather than actions. And that ties into one of the quotes I'm going to read out, actually. The old man says, "Every day is a new day. It is better to be lucky, but I would rather be exact. Then when luck comes, you are ready." So it's that sort of, like that ominous waiting for this event. And even when he hooks the Marlin, a lot of the story is him waiting it out with the Marlin for who's going to be the stronger will in the end. I think that the prose is really excellent. Hemingway's style is very tight. He termed his style of writing some like the iceberg theory, where he's writing like this 1/8 of what's going on, but it's enough because of the way human brains work that we can create the rest in our minds. I think that's what he means by that. So he writes this very slim, very tight bit of prose where the old man is processing some flashbacks, some present moment things, and we get this massive world out of that, and that is very powerful, and it was a delight to read. And even at my slow reading pace, I read it in a couple of days. So that is another point of interest. What have I got? Oh yeah, he drafted this in 8 weeks, which is, I mean, even though it's short, like I said, it's very tight. So I think that is pretty impressive. And I don't know how many other Pulitzer Prize winning novels were drafted in 8 weeks. And then I've just got some other thoughts here. One other quote I wanted to share was the old man again, thinking that let him think that I am more man than I am, and I will be so. I really like that. The old man is constantly pushing himself to rise to the occasion that's presented to him. And like he's got that precision, and he has got the knowledge and the skills of how to be a really excellent fisherman. But it's still like putting it into practice is hard. And he is doing that in this story. Another thing that has stuck in my mind from this book is the idea of his love affair with the sea. And for men who spend like their whole life doing one trade, not just men, but in this case, a fisherman, he has to have maybe a love-hate relationship with the sea, but certainly a love, a deep passion and respect for it. He says, he always thought of the sea as la mar, which is what people call her in Spanish when they love her. Sometimes those who love her say bad things of her, but they are always said as though she were a woman. Some of the younger fishermen, those who used buoys as floats for their lines and had motorboats, bought when the shark livers had brought too much money. Spoke of her as Elma, which is masculine. They spoke of her as a contestant or a place or even an enemy, but the old man always thought of her as feminine, as something that gave or withheld great favors, and if she did wild or wicked things, it was because she could not help them. The moon affects her as it does a woman, he thought, which is a little bit interesting, that women, if we're wicked, we can't help it. But yeah, just that it's a beautiful love affair, and that was one of the things that stuck in my mind about that book. So this has gone a little bit over the time I was hoping for, but that's my speedy review of The Old Man and the Sea by Ernest Hemingway. Is there anything that you think I missed? Anything you disagree on? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.